Chapter 14. Wolves in the Meadow. Hello friends, and welcome back to Storytime at Riverwood Cabin. I'm Rosie Boom, and today I'm reading to you from Where Lions Roar at Night, Chapter 14. Wolves in the Meadow. The summer holidays raced past, and all too soon it was time for school. "It's not fair," complained Jake. "Why do we have to go to school anyway?" "Well, at least we're homeschooled," said Millie. "Imagine going to school at 8 in the morning and not getting home until after 4. "I would die," said Jake. "If we do our work quickly and well, we'll still be able to play heaps in the afternoon," said Sam. The sun streamed into the lounge on the first morning of school, and the children looked longingly outside. The river was still on holiday, and the tree huts and swings waited for the children to come and play. "I thought we'd read Little House on the Prairie each morning," said Mum, when they'd finished having family devotions. "It'll be fun, seeing how we're living like pioneers at the moment." She was halfway through the first chapter when the phone rang. Millie watched as Mum's eyes got an excited look in them. "Shh!" she growled at the boys who were tumbling around on the sofa. "Listen!" Mum put the phone down and turned to look at Millie. "Well?" she began. Millie felt a shiver of excitement chase down her spine. "After school, we are going to go and have a look at a pony." "Yes!" yelled Millie and Ellie at the top of their voices. That morning, Millie wrote a wonderful story in her journal about a girl who found a beautiful pony. As soon as school was finished, they all piled into the car and headed off. Millie could hardly sit still. "What colour is she, Mum? How many hands is she? What's her name? We will get her, Mum, won't we?" Mum laughed. "Calm down, love. We'll just have to wait and see. We're nearly there now." Millie looked out the window and saw a number of ponies grazing in a field. She leaped out of the car and ran to the fence. A small brown pony with a white mark on her forehead looked up at her. "Which one is she, Mum? Oh, I hope she's that one there." A car pulled up and a lady got out. She had a few carrots and a halter. "Which one of you wants to catch Peony?" she asked, smiling. Millie quickly took the carrots and halter. "There she is," said the woman, pointing to the small brown pony. "I hope you can catch her. She's been a bit naughty lately." Millie's heart thumped in her chest as she walked slowly towards the pony. She held out her hand with a carrot and hid the halter behind her back. Peony watched her for a moment and then began walking towards her. Her warm muzzle tickled as she took the carrot gently from Millie's hand. "Hello, Peony," whispered Millie. "You're going to be mine soon." Millie had the first ride, but then Mum made her give all the other children a turn. Mum watched carefully as Millie led Sam around the paddock. "She's very quiet," said Mum to Ellie, "and she's got a kind eye. She seems lovely." Millie overheard her and felt like her heart would burst with excitement. When they'd all had a turn, Mum looked at Peony's teeth and lifted up each hoof. She ran her hands all over her rump and down each leg. "Can we get her, Mum, please?" begged Millie. Mum smiled at her eager daughter and then turned to the lady. "Can we give you a call tonight?" she asked. "I'll talk it over with my husband and let you know." "Of course," said the woman. "I'd love you to have her. I'm sure she'd be very happy with such a big family." When Mum picked up the phone to call that night, Milly felt sick. She watched Mum go outside and she could hear her voice, although she couldn't make out what she was saying. Half of her wanted to hear, but the other half didn't. What if the lady didn't accept their offer? Dad had said they couldn't afford any more. She couldn't bear it if the lady said no. She heard Mum say goodbye. She sat still on the sofa, hardly daring to breathe. Mum came in, looked at her for a second, and then threw her hands up into the air. "We have a pony!" "Yes!" cried Milly, and burst into tears. For the next few weeks, all Milly could think about was her pony. Ellie kept reminding her that Peony wasn't just her pony, but Milly didn't care. As soon as school was out, they would catch her and brush her until her coat shone. Then they would practice riding, sometimes bareback, sometimes with a saddle. Mum said they were both becoming good little riders. One day, they decided to play cowboys and Indians down in the meadow. "Right," said Milly. "Ellie and I will be the cowboys. Jake, you and Sam can be the Indians." "Cool," said Sam, and ran off to get his supply of bows and arrows. Milly saddled up Peony and rode her down to the meadow. It was a great place to play games, with heaps of trees and places to hide. She turned Peony around and closed her eyes while the two Indians slunk into the bushes to hide. "I'm coming, ready or not," she yelled. She swung Peony around and urged her into a trot. Dark shadows lay quiet and still beneath the trees in Lantern Waste. Milly felt Peony tense beneath her. Suddenly, a long, piercing howl broke the silence and filled the meadow. Peony snorted and shied and then burst into a terrified gallop. Milly grabbed wildly for a handful of mane, but it was too late. She hit the earth with a thud, and all the air rushed out of her lungs. She lay there, gasping for breath, while Peony careered towards the barn, the stirrups flapping wildly at her sides. Milly jumped to her feet and began running after her. "Mum!" she screeched. "Mum!" Her side ached and she felt bruised all over. "Mum, stop her!" Mum hurried out of the barn when she heard the pounding hooves and screams. Peony came to a screeching halt at the fence, her sides heaving. Mum spoke quietly as she walked towards her and took hold of the bridle. Milly came running up. "What on earth happened, Milly? Why is she so spooked?" Milly stood for a moment, puffing and panting. Two Indians appeared moments later, also out of breath. At last, Milly could talk. "I was riding her down by the river and these two stupid Indians were hiding in the bushes in Lantern Waste." She glared savagely at Sam and Jake. "They had the dumb idea of howling like wolves. When Peony heard them, she just freaked out and bolted. I fell off straight away. Mum, it's not funny, Mum." But Mum couldn't help laughing. Jake and Sam started giggling and Milly glowered at them and then glared at Mum. Finally, Mum managed to say, "Well, I knew we had lions, but wolves